So you alluded to material. Let's talk about, obviously, in that journey, there must have been some books that you've read that kind of got you to where you are. What books would you recommend to your younger self that you read that you want our listeners to read?
Oh man. Okay, so it depends. And that part of my life journey, there's a book that I really like that was called "The Mountain Is You,"
Mm,
and it's not a business book at all, actually. It's about understanding that of kind of like gaining access to your ego, not gaining access, but kind of eliminating your ego, like getting your understanding that like the whole world isn't about you. Like all the things that you're self-conscious about, or maybe that hold you back, it kind of like pulls the curtain away from that and helps you understand how other people look at you. So about self-awareness.
mm,
And I will tell you from hiring, lots of younger salespeople, including my own demographic from millennials to Gen Zers or Gen X. I don't know what letter they call themselves or whatever. The number one thing I see in younger individuals, including myself when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, all the way through 25, 26, and probably early into my 30s, was lack of self-awareness,
mm,
understanding, like the inability to see the way that I did things, like from an outside perspective looking in. That really holds people back from career growth, from self growth, from in a lot of entrepreneurs who own real businesses. I believe that it holds them back massively as well,
mm.
or keeps them kind of small, for lack of a better term. So that book was really important to me. And I read that book, I think, when I was like 35, 36. And I've bought copies repeatedly for people. And
Mm.
it's not the most, it's not the smartest work. It's not Summa Theologica from, Aquinas. It's not like the most, this incredible, piece of literature that just changed the world. But to me, it was very redundant. It was very simple. But if you can you got to kind of read it and look back at yourself and be able to see yourself from the outside. So that was a really big book. If you're talking about business books, I think it depends what business you're in, but I think the book that made a massive change in our business that I absolutely applied, and now we're working on applying it with one of my business partners and one of his companies in the staffing industry,
Mm.
was the book called The Blue Ocean. You ever heard of that book?
Yep.
Okay. Blue Ocean is huge. And then they have like a follow up, like Blue Ocean Strategy. And everybody seems to hear this book, but I mean, did you read it? Did you actually, you have to go through that book and actually use it as a workbook. We did. And I will tell you that it completely changed our business. It really, really did. So that book was a huge one. And then there was another book called, I was talking about it this morning about, I can't remember the name of it. It's like the little black book of sales or something like that. And it's not a lot about selling, but there's a really good point in that book about learning how to specialize and to kind of cut the fat
Mm.
off your business. And that was a big one. So I guess just right off the cuff, the top two for sure. And the third one would be, an added benefit.
So, I mean,